we've had the sprint race for the Chinese Grand Prix, and actually I don't really know what to make of this one. It was a bit of a mixing of the racing, wasn't it? You just didn't really know what to make of it in terms of the action. But Lewis Hamilton got a brilliant start, didn't he? Made his way up into P1, ran Norris wide, and I think it was a bit naive from Norris, wasn't it? Just to stay out there on the outside of turn 1. Cost himself dearly, dropped back like 6 places, didn't he? Down into P7, which was horrible from there. And you thought, with the speed he should make some decent recovery from there, but it wasn't to be, was it? The racing from there on, apart from Max Verstappen, who was just on a league of his own. I mean, at one point, 1.5 seconds faster than the rest of the field was just absolutely incredible. Lewis Hamilton, though, he's got much to be happy about, kind of held off and kept his second place after Max finally made his way through and took lead and took charge from lap 10. And he kind of, you could see he was just biding his time, wasn't he? I had a couple of gremlins with the engine mapping, didn't he, at one point, coming on saying he had a flat battery. So once they sort of niggled that out, he got out the DRS of Sainz and yeah, off he went. But then in behind, it just looked like almost what we've seen behind as well with the midfield pack. Nobody could really make a move with it. We were stuck until we got the DEG coming in sort of about lap 16, 17, where, you know, you could see the cars that were hard on the tyres really struggling then. Fernando Alonso up into P3, who did a fantastic job to keep that there for as long as he did. And then we got the epic back battle, didn't we? It was kind of like what we've seen with Perez and Hamilton in Silverstone when Hamilton went through, but this time it was Perez, didn't he? Made the most of it. Alonso and Sainz battling between them. A brilliant or audacious move from Alonso in the end, wasn't it? And probably maybe a bit unwise because it cost him and Sainz dearly. Didn't let Sergio Perez through into third place, and Perez then just took control from there for third place. But in and behind then, Alonso and Sainz had a massive ding dong, didn't they? Both touched, which unfortunately meant that Alonso got a puncher and then had to retire his car. And then we got the crazy battle with the two Ferraris. We've seen them go hammer and tongue at each other in the past, and it was absolutely fantastic to see. Again, Charles Leclerc coming on the radio, wasn't happy this time. And actually, Carlos Sainz has got nothing to lose, so he's leaving that team. So why not absolutely hammer and blows with his teammate? You could see that got a little bit personal, didn't it, at the end? And I absolutely loved it. I thought it was brilliant to see them fighting like that. I mean, that's kind of what we should have, isn't it? I hope they don't sort of curtail that a little bit. But Charles Leclerc got the better of that one, didn't he? And finished ahead of Carlos Sainz. And yeah, from the midfield down though was just disappointing. There was no action at all, was there? And we just had a DRS train. The only good thing that we saw that they were all really close. So in race day, when there's a longer race to be had, hopefully they'll be more bunched up. But into the 3 good and the 3 bad for this weekend, for this sprint race, it was Hamilton who led 10 laps, wasn't it, and then held on to that second place in the dry conditions where he thought he'd be really slow and falling backwards. Did a brilliant job there. The Carlos Sainz and the Alonso battle for me in second place with Perez nicking P3 was absolutely great racing, isn't it? What you live and love Formula 1 for. And finally was the Leclerc and Sainz battle again, which was the third of the 3 good. It just felt absolutely brilliant. And I've got to give a shout out to Joe Guanzu, a P9 in his home race. Did fantastically well there. On to the 3 bad. Well, I've only struggled with 2 really. It's Lando Norris with that poor start. I think with poor judgment just to stay on the outside. And then race pace, wasn't it? He managed to keep Piastri behind. I think that's purely because Piastri struggled with keeping his tyres up, and that's been one of the issues, and it's reared his head again for him, hasn't it? But yeah, that was disappointing. And then too was just a lack of racing behind in the midfield and the back. They all just seem to be stuck next to each other. Yeah, disappointing. But overall, a decent sprint race, and it does set us up for should be a fantastic race. I think the 2 Red Bulls, if they qualify well, will be miles off ahead of everybody. But there we are. That's the sprint review. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment as always. See you for the quality review.